Hello and welcome to the Sound Test Room. My name is Jakob. I'm your host and you're watching a haQ episode. Now we're gonna build this patch from scratch. Sounds absolutely beautiful. I love sounds like that, and TC-11 is a perfect app to make stuff like this because visually it's very enticing. So we're gonna build this from scratch, and if you don't know about TC-11, or if you want to know more, if you have it and haven't gone back to it because you think it's too complicated or something, just go check out my playlist. It's gonna pop out right here, right there. This is called a card. Annotations doesn't work on mobile devices, but these cards do, and in them I put links, videos and other stuff that I talk about. So that's good to know. Go check that playlist. Very thorough guide on TC-11. It's not completed yet, but if you watch the part that are up there right now, you'll know loads more about the synthesizer and the way it works. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna make an initialized patch. Let's go into the menu. You do that by double tapping on TC-11 and going to the load share page, and then we're gonna start by creating a completely new one. So that's the plus sign right there. We're gonna choose the default one, not tuned. I'm just gonna give this a name and I'm gonna call this Theremin. That's not how you spell theremin. Return and then save it. So let's go to the patch area. Now what we have here right now is basically a sine wave oscillator loaded, and it's connected to the amp. You can see here you have a playable area. Usually when you start up the synthesizer, that area is right there, but you can just pull it out like this. So that way you can play a patch and tweak it at the same time. Right now we just have a basic sine wave with some kind of envelope tied into it. And let's just have a look at that. Let's move this out of the way. So we have the oscillator going out to the amp, to a panning section. And then we have an output. It's on, of course, because, you know, otherwise we wouldn't hear any sound. And then you have an ADHSR, an envelope basically. Let's start by choosing the right type of waveform. So we double tap on the oscillator to bring this window up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to switch the waveforms here, either by doing that, tapping there, or switching like this. Let's play it at the same time. Now a square wave is perfect for something like this. What we're going to do now is we need to modulate this signal to make it sound like a theremin. When I was playing down here, the volume was very low, and then the volume went up as further up we went on the screen. And then we also had a vibrating function that got stronger the further up we moved our finger. So we need to modulate that too. And we're gonna start by doing that. We're gonna add an LFO to alternate the frequency of the oscillator just a slight bit to make it oscillate a bit. And then we're gonna control how the LFO works with our finger. Tap the oscillator box to close it, and then go down here, and this is where we can put in our LFO. Double tap. This is a basic LFO, and we're not going to do anything here right now. What we're going to do now is go up to the oscillator, double tap it. I want to set how far we'll be able to play the theremin in frequency first. Let's listen. Now it's moving in the wrong direction when I move my fingers up and down and side to side. I actually want to control the pitch and frequency of the oscillator sideways like this. So we have to tell this oscillator to listen to our finger, you know, like that. And to do that, we go to frequency. And so this is the X position and this is the Y position on the touchscreen. Frequency, touch, on position, and position Y. Okay, so I think it's going too far low, you know, maybe a bit too high. We can adjust that area of which the frequencies are moving. Right now we have 100 Hertz down here. Let's move that up to just about like 500 Hertz. And then move down this point to about 2000. So you can move it fast like this, or you can just take it and pull it down and you'll be able to fine adjust. That's better. All right, so now that we have that, we also need to make the oscillator frequency oscillate a bit using the LFO. But we can't really put it on this right now, because right now we're controlling the frequency with our fingers. So how do we do that? Don't worry, there are more options in here. We can't see them. Hold down your finger and it will bring up a menu here. And everything that you see that have a plus sign are options that you can bring up. Press Alt frequency. So we're going to be able to modulate the frequency of our oscillator using the LFO this way. Now it's set to constant right now, but we're going to change that into LFO. It's got 2 modes, and right now I'm going to use this mode. And if you want to know more about that, go check my guide. Right now it's modulating, and we can see that. It looks like we're controlling the speed of the LFO sideways with the finger too. And I just heard that we're obviously controlling the signal from left to right in the mix with our finger up and down. I want to change that first. So we go down to the panning section and we're just going to tell this one to be constant. And then put it to 50%. Stays in the middle. And now we need to fine adjust the LFO. Okay, so the LFO speed changes sideways. Alright, so I kind of like how that sounds, but I don't want it to change sideways. I want it to change when I move my finger up and down. So I have to switch this to touch, position, X. But it's moving the other way around. I want it to be a low speed when I'm moving my finger down and a high speed when I'm moving up. Because right now you can see it's going faster when I move my finger down. There is a way to actually swap how the entire surface works, so you can swap everything from left to right and up to down, and that's not the way to do it. The way I do it is I simply switch these. So if I move this one up here and this one down here, it's gonna run in reverse. That sounds pretty cool. Alright, so now we have that. Now the next thing we need to do is to actually change the way the volume works too. Because when we move our finger down, we want the volume to go down. And when we move our finger up, we want the volume to go up. So let's go back up to the oscillator and hold down our finger because I want the amplitude option up too. Now the amplitude is constant, so the oscillator is putting out the highest maximum signal right now. If we modulate that with our finger instead, we're going to be able to control the volume of the oscillator out. And why I'm not doing this at the mix level is because I want to put some delay on this. And if I control the mix level, then it's gonna pull down the delay too. I don't want that. I only want to pull down the signal and volume for the oscillator so that the delay volume can stay the same. Let's choose the amplitude here and choose touch and position and X position, and that's that way. So now it works like this. So we have to switch it around again because now it's working in reverse. Just pull this one here, this one there. I don't want it to be completely quiet when I go down, so I'm gonna move this up a bit. Now that sounds pretty cool. So all we need now is a little bit of delay and we're done. Tap on that and we're gonna add the delay, and we do that there. And let's go to our performance area and play it. But wait, let's make it look good first. Now, I already have some graphical elements here, but I just want to show you how to randomize your graphical elements for the patches. So go to settings and then go to display, and then we go to override patch controller display. Press random, go to the performance, and oh, look at that. Look at that, that looks cool. And let's play our patch. When you load up TC-11, your iPad becomes an instrument. Now go finger your own surfaces and TC-11 patches. As usual, Doug Woods, Colin Sweeney and me, Jakob Hackett, soundtostroom.com, wishes you a very productive week. Now go finger your surfaces and have lots of fun doing it.